before the bells begin their time. The town was pale before the sun, white walls still holding on tonight. The stairways curve through shadowed homes, and windows breathe the blue-gray light. Tall figures cross the empty square, their coats still dark, their faces bare. And all the streets of Putignano seem to wait for what they know. The baker lit the morning flame, a cart rolled slow beneath the arch. A woman tied red ribbons high, where bells would answer before dark. The houses rose like folded chalk, the lanes were narrow, close and old, and every stone looked worn by voices that had laughed here long before. Before the bells of Putignano ring, the town holds back its hidden spring. Its masks, its drums, its crooked grace, its old bright soul, its borrowed face. Before the bells of Putignano sound, a secret stirs beneath the ground, as if the white walls already know the carnival is waking slow. The dog slipped down the lower lane, then stopped beside a painted door. A child leaned out above the square to hear the stillness just once more. No trumpet yet, no dancing feet, only breath between the stones, only morning in the old town, learning how to leave alone. Nothing yet had burst to song, but wonder had been there all along. In cracked steps, shrines, and shuttered light, in all that waits before delight. Before the bells of Putignano ring, the town holds back its hidden spring. Its masks, its drums, its crooked grace, its old bright soul, its borrowed face. Before the bells of Putignano sound, a secret stirs beneath the ground, as if the white walls already know the carnival is waking slow. Soft whistling over roofs of white, before the day turns strange and bright. Limestone lanes, they hung the masks from nails and ropes and window frames. Long-nosed faces, sly and thin, painted saints and comic kings, velvet sleeves and patched up lace, paper flowers, ribbon grace, and every little workshop seemed to breathe a half-remembered dream. A tailor pinned a silver cuff, a mask maker laughed at crooked mouths, a drummer leaned against the wall and tested out the afternoon. The sharp-faced figures passed below with gloved hands and careful toes, as if the whole town had rehearsed these gestures for 100 years. Masks in the limestone lanes appear with comic pride and old-world cheer, with narrow eyes and pointed grace, and stories written on each face. Masks in the limestone lanes are born from cloth and chalk and southern dawn, till every arch and every stair feels like a stage already there. An old aunt carried sugar twists, a boy wore bells around his wrists, a dog slept under hanging cloth, ignoring all the human myth. From balcony to chapel wall, the color traveled over all, and in the close white southern light, the town turned festive, lean and strange. No palace silk, no marble throne, just village hands and things well known, made art and bright through love and play, so Carnival could find its way. Masks in the limestone lanes appear with comic pride and old-world cheer, with narrow eyes and pointed grace, and stories written on each face. Masks in the limestone lanes are born from cloth and chalk and southern dawn, till every arch and every stair feels like a stage already there. By noon the lanes were dressed and deep, and not a single wall could sleep. Then the first drums rolled through the square, low and round against the air, and all the white old walls replied, as if the town itself had sighed. From the upper gate they came, long and thin and bright with names, grotesque and noble, strange and proud, drawing laughter from the crowd. A paper beast with painted teeth, a crooked priest with dancing feet, a moon-faced duchess all in red, bent low above the village heads. The clarinet cut through the sun, the tambourines began to run, and every lane that once was still now carried rhythm down the hill. When the old carnival woke at last. The town stepped out beyond its past, into drums and dust and light, into laughter wild and bright. When the old carnival woke again, it walked the stairs, it crossed the lanes, and every stone in Putignano knew this was the day it all came true. Children shouted from the rail, old men grinned behind their ale, women tossed bright paper down like blessings falling on the town. The long-nosed masks bowed to the square, with patched brocade and powdered air, and all the crowd moved close enough to feel the old folk magic stir. No one asked where joy begins, in drums, in cloth, in masked up grins. For once it wakes inside the street, the whole town rises to its feet. When the old carnival woke at last, the town stepped out beyond its past, into drums and dust and light, into laughter wild and bright. When the old carnival woke again, it walked the stairs, it crossed the lanes, and every stone in Putignano knew this was the day it all came true. And in the chalk-white southern day, the old bright ritual found its way. By dusk the archers held the drums, round and deep as heartbeat sound. The lanes grew close with masks and cloth, with lantern smoke and stomping feet. Long shadows slipped along the walls, sharp noses cut through amber light, and every whitewashed doorway framed a little scene of comic fire. A fox-faced mask spun past the well, a giant bride with bells on sleeves, a laughing monk in patched-up gold beat time against a wooden bowl. The tambourines were bright as sparks, the clarinet was dark as wine, and all the old grotesque processions moved like legends brought to life. Drums beneath the white arches ring, making the narrow streets sing, making the masks and ribbons fly, making the chalk walls answer back. Drums beneath the white arches roll, through every stair and hidden court, till Putignano glows and bends into the strangest kind of grace. A child wore blue around his eyes, a thin old dancer raised both hands. A dog barked once beneath a cart, then watched the pageant like a saint. Lanterns swung from rope to rope, and shadows stretched like paper wreaths. The town looked less like stone and plaster than a living folk machine, Not dark with fear, not wild with harm, but rich with old ceremonial charm. The kind of chaos shaped by hands that trust the ritual understands. Drums beneath the wide arches ring, making the narrow streets sing, making the masks and ribbons fly, making the chalk walls answer back. Drums beneath the wide arches roll, through every stair and hidden court, till Putignano glows and bends into the strangest kind of grace. And while the lantern smoke rose high, the drums kept teaching walls to shine. After the grotesque moon climbed high, the town grew softer by and by. The masks came loose, the drums fell back, and paper dust lay on the tracks. The white walls held a golden stain from lantern light and passing flame, and all the long thin carnival faces seemed more human in the quiet. A vendor closed his wooden stand, still sugar shining on his hands. A child asleep on someone's shawl still wore one bell and half a smile. The stairways cooled, the wine grew still, the roofs looked out across the hill, and somewhere through the sleeping lanes a clarinet recalled the day. After the grotesque moon had passed, the town kept all its brightness fast, in ribbons caught on iron nails, in candle wax and fading trails. After the grotesque moon moved on, the old white town still held a song, and every stone seemed gently changed by all that warm, old comic strangeness. A dog curled up beside the square, a mask lay folded on a chair. An old thin man unpinned his sleeve and laughed as if he still could hear. The arches no longer thundered loud, no drums remained to lift the crowd. Yet something stayed beneath the hush, a softness born from all the noise. Not every wonder needs to stay, some only pass and light the way, then leave their color on the wall. And in the quiet after all, after the grotesque moon had passed, the town kept all its brightness fast, in ribbons caught on iron nails, in candle wax and fading trails. After the grotesque moon moved on, the old white town still held the song, and every stone seemed gently changed by all that warm, old comic strangeness. Soft whistling through the southern night, the carnival has left its light.